Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess and today I was treating myself first of all with some Starbucks. I never get Starbucks, but I got myself an iced latte and a croissant, so fun. I actually wanted to make this video, let me take off my seatbelt because I'm not driving. I wanted to make this video because I was going through a couple of the last videos that I made. Obviously I edit them and then I also like to just like review them before they go up and whatnot. So good. So yeah, I was reviewing all these videos, or a couple of the last videos. One of them was the lifestyle video that I made, and then another one was the bucket list video that I made. I was realizing that there were quite a few similarities that I just didn't pick up on until I made those videos, I guess. And I don't know how I didn't realize it until then, but I kind of wanted to talk about it because I think it's really cool to celebrate little wins. And it was just something that was very impactful to me. So I thought I would share. So I've shared with you guys a little bit about my mental health and, you know, what that's been like for me over the years. And I can't remember exactly like everything because I make so many different types of videos that like sometimes I don't remember what things I've said and what things I haven't. But basically when I was in college, there was a point when I think it was like over a summer, I just like wasn't in school, and it might have only been a few weeks because I know I took summer quarter that year or maybe a month or so, but regardless, essentially every moment that I didn't have to be somewhere, whether it be school or work, I would be sleeping. So for that month period that I was simply working and not going to school, I would work an 8-hour shift, come home and sleep 16 hours and then go back to, I would literally wake up 5 minutes before my shift. And sometimes I was like a minute late. It was not great. And I would also get really stressed out if I didn't have something to do over the weekend. So while I was in school, typically the way that it worked for me was that I would go to school 5 days a week and then I was working usually on the weekends, or maybe I had like one weekend day off, and then I was dating someone at the time, so we would always try to schedule time to see each other, likely on the weekends, maybe 1 or 2 times during the week, and so on. And like it was just kind of sporadic. We also lived like 2 blocks away from each other, which in some ways could be cool, and then in our relationship just didn't really work. So it was hard because there were times when, say, he was going to go see his family or he wanted to go camping with his friends or whatever it may be, and I didn't know how to handle being alone. If I didn't have a shift for that weekend but he also couldn't hang out, I didn't know how to just like be by myself, and it got really bad. I also didn't have traditional school where I was studying all that much. Like I had to go to studio because I was an art student, and so I would often ask my friends if they were able to go to studio, but again, there are some days when everybody was busy and then I just was by myself. There were also times where I had holidays, for example, and so I sometimes just didn't go home. Like for Thanksgiving, if I was gonna go home for Christmas, it didn't make sense to also go home for Thanksgiving, or even for some simple holidays like Mother's Day, Father's Day. I know that those aren't simple, but like it's just one day and I can see my family any other time, and so it wasn't worth the plane ticket and the stress of traveling at the time. And this is just at the time, and also just the way my family works because we don't like harp on these holidays a lot. So it was just kind of like, I'll see you like when we can actually spend like maybe a week together instead of just one day. So it was just hard for me. There were days where I just couldn't get out of bed. I remember having to force myself to go to a farmer's market that was pretty close by my house in the University District in Seattle, and I would force myself to go and buy myself flowers, and I would just be like so proud that I bought flowers. And it was a very, very difficult time for me because of all of those reasons. And I mean, I was also obviously going through a pretty big depression. That was probably my most depressed I've ever been, and I started taking medicine at the time. Since then I've like gone on and off of it from my doctor's orders, like not just because I felt like it, but my doctor suggested, you know, doing different things. Regardless, the point here is just to celebrate this win that I was noticing in these videos. I mentioned a couple of times some alone time, and it was that I have have a lot of alone time, or I like alone time, or I look forward to alone time. And it's just so weird to think that just, you know, a couple of years ago, it sounds so stupid, but I'm trying not to get emotional because just a few years ago, that was very, very difficult. So anyway, I just wanted to put this out there because I want other people to celebrate their wins. I think that it's really important to talk about mental health, but I think it's also just as important to talk about your wins and to share, like, hey, this might sound small, but to me, I look forward to alone time, and that was just something that broke me down years ago. Just not very many years ago either, like 4 years ago. I like could not handle that. So yeah, it was huge to see that progress in that video, or in those videos. And honestly, there's like a few things I owe that to. Obviously therapy, and the relationship that I'm currently in has made me feel so much more comfortable in my own skin. And I think just the people I surround myself with too, not even my relationship, but like the friends that I have and everything, it's like they're just so genuine and care, but they aren't going to like handhold or baby you either. And it's really allowed me to learn more about myself and my boundaries and wanting that alone time. And another big thing, I know this sounds so crazy, but another huge thing that really did a lot for me was YouTube, and creating has done a lot for me, but I also just mean consumption of YouTube. And what I mean is that there are a lot of vloggers out there that show off their crazy lifestyle and they're always doing something, right? But a lot of times on social media, that's what we see, and it's really difficult because that was also what was getting to me. It was like everyone was off doing something, and I felt like I was so alone and I was like wasting my life. And not to mention, just before that, I had just come from a really long backpacking trip in Europe where I like had a one-way ticket and I was going on this huge adventure, and then I came back to Seattle and everything was stagnant, and so I just like hit a wall and I was depressed. And I found some vloggers who would just vlog their life as is. Like they're like, oh, I didn't leave the house today, whatever. Like, oh, I'm working today and then I made a coffee and then now I'm watching a movie and now I want to sleep. Like it was so raw and real that I started like binge watching these videos. Not even, it was like the same content over and over again, but it was too ingrained in my head. Like you don't have to do something crazy every single day. It's totally okay. And I still have issues with that where I want to be spontaneous and I want to go on all these trips, but it's okay to just live your life, read a book, have a coffee, and like enjoy your alone time. And then it's also okay to have your friends. So that really helped me out. And that's why sometimes when I am making my vlogs, I feel kind of like, what am I even doing? Like I'm literally working all day and I'm not doing anything. But I really, really want to normalize that, because that's seriously what helped me out, is just everyone has these different routines and life isn't wild and crazy all of the time for most people. And I get some people are like that, that's fine. But for a lot of us, we just have like our daily lives. We go to work, we come home, we watch a movie or read a book, and then we go to bed, maybe play with our animal, and that's pretty much it. So anyway, I really wanted to thank you guys as well, because I haven't had the chance to talk about this in my other videos, because I like to pre-film some of my videos. I like to be ahead. Essentially, I don't want to feel stressed out by having to edit something, or if an idea doesn't work out and then I have no video for that week. So regardless, recently I hit 300 subscribers, and in my head, I put myself in this room with each one of the people that has chosen to hit that subscribe button, because I know there are other people that watch the videos, but there are 300 or over 300 now people who have actively chosen like, hey, I like this girl enough to subscribe to her channel. Like she's kind of okay. And that like really means a lot. If I put myself in that room with 300 people, I'd be terrified to be like, hey guys, what's up? And it just really means a lot to me. I hope that I can make someone else feel the way that these other vloggers made me feel when I felt very alone, or when I felt like I didn't know how to handle being by myself. So anyway, just seeing a lot of progress, and it's making me so happy. We don't always have these really high highs, but I think that we should celebrate when we do. And I wanted to just show you guys that it's not always just about having these emotional moments. It's also about having the happy moments. So yeah, just really, really cool to see. Didn't mean to get emotional there, but it's just, you know, it's my journey, and sometimes when you think back on like your darker times, it creates some emotion. So anyway, I didn't even finish my croissant yet. Like, it's still like hanging out. So that's all I wanted to say. I really appreciate you guys seriously so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing and like talking with me in the comments. It means the world. I love it. I hope you guys are having a really great weekend, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye guys.